Hey Buffalo, are you thinking about building a new house in the Buffalo area but you're unsure of where to start? Here's what you need to consider, the mistakes and what to do instead. I'm Michelle Petrie, your Buffalo Realtor. Adam and I always, both individually before we met, wanted to build a house. My parents had built a house when I was growing up and I always wanted to do that. Adam had the same thought. So we actually never looked at houses. We never went to an open house together. We never went and saw in a private showing a house. We just instantly started looking at land, probably prematurely, probably earlier than we should have, and we fell in love with a piece of property and went under contract. That is not the piece of property that we ended up building on. We actually are under contract 3 times before we actually built on the one we're on now. Unfortunately, the first 2 fell through due to wetlands not seen on the wetlands map. Third one is honestly the best out of the 3, so everything happens for a reason. At that time, I wasn't in real estate. Going to build a house is actually what got me into the real estate game, so I could help other people with what was so challenging for us during that time. Right into building, we were told we could build our house for a much cheaper price than it actually cost us, and because that was before COVID really ramped up the cost of building materials and labor for contractors. So at the time, we really thought it was more cost effective to build our house for what we wanted and to get exactly what we wanted instead of buying. Looking back now, it probably did save a little bit. We did spray foam insulation on the entire house and on the roof ridge. That's just not done in most houses. So it's just things like that that we had in mind as a long-term investment and putting a lot of money into a very big home, and a very important part of where our money was going is into this house. We want to make sure we were building a good investment. Yes, your home is a home, but it's also an investment. We have to keep that in mind, making smart choices. One of the biggest things that I wish I had known before but learned along the way was the budget is so super important. And the Petries did it a little bit differently, a lot differently than every other house being built that I know of. As you go on and wait, obviously the cost of things get more expensive, but the timing at which we actually started our plans and the things that had changed in that year with material was so dramatic because of COVID. It really just changed the entire game for us in the budget. So what our budget was and what we actually spent on this house are 2 totally different numbers. It's definitely something I want everyone to be very aware of because it can change your entire setup of your house. So working around your budget, if you're building with a builder in a neighborhood that they own the lots to and you're working with them, they have budgets set up. And when you sign a contract with them, they have that already purchased in their minds. So there is a strict budget they stick to. It's not like they're gonna up it all of a sudden because the cost of something else goes up. Because you have a contract with them, they have a timeline at which you have to choose certain things so they can make your budget work. On the other side, if you're building a custom home with a builder on your own lot and you really take your time and you're buying things as it comes, that is up to you. If you're not buying something until later, that's totally fine, but realize that the cost of things might change. One example, Adam and I did an all-nighter the night before the drywallers came to do our house because we were finishing soundproofing and insulating the interior walls of the house. So we did an all-nighter. Adam was at Home Depot the night before and bought X amount of rolls of this insulator. He went at 7 a.m. the next day and they had jumped $20 a roll. Literally, we didn't even sleep and it happened. And Adam fought to get the price that it was the day before. It was literally the same bundles. He was the last one that took the bundles and they were still there. It wasn't like they restocked, they were new bundles, same exact ones. Literally didn't even go to sleep and things jumped in price. So now that we're actually living in the house, which I absolutely love, the space, the setup, the amount of natural light we have in our home is amazing. Something that I really realized going through and now that we're there is that as a real estate agent, I take clients through other high-end homes and there are things I say, oh, I wish I had seen that before. But you can always go through that. You're always gonna have the, oh, I wish I could have, I wish I had the money for that. Our home was specifically designed literally by us. I drew it on graph paper to scale for our lot because of the way it was configured and fits perfectly. There's other homes that I've seen that I love the layout of, but it wouldn't have worked for our lot and how it had to sit on there. So do I like other things in other homes? Yeah. Would it have worked for us? Not really. Thinking of the end picture, look at each lot and the land that you're wanting to purchase and how will it really really fit a house on it? Is it a more slender lot and longer back? Is it a perfect square? Are there people behind you? Is there wetlands behind you? Is there wetlands on the property? All of those things affect where you can build a home on that property and how big the home can be and what shape. So that's really important to think about when you're building, especially a custom home. If you're even thinking about building in the Buffalo area, save this video. I've been there and trust me, it was a wild ride. Drop any questions below or reach out and I am more than happy to help. I'm Michelle Petrie and I am your Buffalo Realtor.